So today we're going to be talking about cultural shock and adjusting to a new world, right? So what is cultural shock? Cultural shock is a feeling of confusion, anxiety, or disorientation that people experience when they move to a new country or unfamiliar cultural environment. So it happens because of the difference in languages, customs, or social norms, values, and everyday life. There are four stages to it, but I have a guest today, and I'll just give them a chance to introduce themselves.
Who is the guest?
I'm dying. Okay, go on.
Hi guys, my name is Shamyan. I am a Zimbabwean and I am a Marxist feminist and I live with this person. I am being held captive in order to make this podcast.
You didn't have a choice today.
So it's true.
So this is my roommate, guys. She didn't have a choice. She actually wants to sleep right now, but unfortunately we have to make money. So
which is why I'm inserting my PayPal in the description. PayPal.
Okay, great. So Shamien, what do you think about today's topic? What would you say? Like, what comes to your mind when you hear the word cultural shock?
The same things you said, I guess. For me, it's just things that I think are odd, right? Yeah. They might be acceptable or like social norms in another place that are foreign to me, is what I would say. And I don't know how I feel. Do you think, like, if you think about the things that have shocked you, do you think of them positively, like, okay, this is a little bit weird, but I think this is a good thing? Or all of your shocks are like, no one should do this. In fact, these people should go to hell.
I think there's like probably almost, I think it's 50-50. Because that other things that people do here in Europe that I'm like, are you human? Are you sure this is what we are supposed to be doing as people? Like, are you sure you're in the right place? But there are also things that I actually find really positive. I think for me, it's 50-50. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, cultural shock has 4 stages. So there's the honeymoon phase, there's the frustration phase, the adjustment phase, and the acceptance phase. So we're going to talk about the honeymoon phase first, where everything feels exciting and new, basically romanticizing the culture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't have this one.
No,
I did.
Oh my God.
Hated it from the jump. I think it took me a while, like especially if I'm speaking about just me moving to Europe. The day I just stepped out of the plane and it was 3 degrees, I knew I was going to hate this place. I didn't even know it was possible on this earth to be 3 degrees.
In my eyes, you look like you're doing well despite everything.
Yeah, but this is like 3 years ago. 3 years ago? No, my first time when I arrived, like just the beginning of my stay in Europe. Yeah, no, I didn't have it together. I was so sad. I think I found it strange. I found the people inhumane. By inhumane, I'm saying this as a direct translation from Shona. Like people wasnahunu, like people who don't have morals.
Inhumane is also the word that I was like,
what is this? Yeah.
Did you have any expectations before moving abroad? Were you excited? Were you looking forward to things,
I think I expected to travel more, and I was expecting to be free to spread my wings a little bit more. But I was a little bit different because I did an au pair training course from another person who had been an au pair. And so they just told us, they broke down all our fantasies before we came.
Yeah,
they're
like that too.
This is not going to happen. The people are going to eat like this. Like the one thing that was emphasized was the poor eating habits in Europe, like the fact that
Yeah.
they count every grain of rice.
Yeah.
It's even possible that someone can invite you to their house and cook just enough for you to have a small portion. And it's the UN recommended portion, not the portion that you eat or on your, normal like days, whatever. They give you exactly what they want. And yeah, so that was a little bit weird for me. But I think the thing also, because I was an au pair, it was the fact that it was supposed to be a cultural exchange.
Yeah.
And it felt like on their side, they saw me as somebody who should just be ready to lose everything that the essence of who I am and become European. But that wasn't the purpose. So yeah, I was shocked.
I think I actually had the same thing. But for me, I feel like I came on different grounds. But for me, I don't even think I learned anything or exchanged anything on the first few months because I also did au pair. So it was really hectic. But would you actually say, like, first moving in, that's when the honeymoon phase is? Because now that we're talking about, I feel like the honeymoon phase comes a little bit after, where like everything is nice. I mean, it's not what you expected, but things are like you can adjust and you're having fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, okay, there's some people who can be delusional because I've spoken to other people who came with the same process that we did. And they start off thinking that their host can do no wrong. These people are perfect. This is exactly how we should do it. And then this disillusionment kind of falls off with time. But yeah, I think for me, my honeymoon phase, so to say, came after the acceptance. Yeah.
I would say the same thing too. But what was your biggest shock when arriving?
Oh, now my memories are a little bit jumbled because a lot of things happened.
Okay. I will say it first because I think I remember vividly. For me, because I came like right after I experienced something tragic. You know, I lost my mom. And obviously the family that I was moving into, they knew exactly what I was going through because I was supposed to come a week before my mom passed. But not even once for the 6 months that I was there did they ask me how I was doing, how I was
That's
coping,
crazy.
and all of that. So for me, I was like, are you like, I don't know, it just came as a shock because I was like, do you actually know what I'm going through? Or are you just trying not to trigger me by asking me questions and stuff like that? So to me, that was like really something that I'm not used to. You know, when someone is grieving, you ask, you offer a shoulder to cry on and stuff like that, but they didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, okay. I think part of me sometimes still feels like, yeah, they're listening in, they're spying on me. So they're listening into this. But like when you were speaking, I just started thinking about like hygiene.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Because I grew up very differently. Like I grew up thinking that I wasn't a clean person just by the virtue of how my mom likes to have things, how my dad is. My dad is a premium germaphobe. And so, it's small things like this. Like it was possible for like one of my host kids to go for weeks without bathing. And it would be a negotiation. Like the boy was damn near my complexion by the time he entered the bath. And the bath was just, a no scrubbing, just soaking in the water for after days. And that was jarring to me. Also, the fact that people can be in the bathroom for like 20 minutes and not shower every day and just put gel in their head and brush their teeth was so shocking to me.
Yeah, I think I experienced that too because when I first arrived, they gave me a schedule on how the kids also, and they're like, oh, they bath once or twice a week.
Oh.
Okay. I'm just thinking kids go to the toilet and all those stuff. Like,
rather in the mud.
Oh my God.
I used to fight to have the kids wash their hands. That's like one of my pet peeves. If you know me, I hate things like that. And it would be like you've been touching on like everything, dirty seats, the subway. You've been in the park,
riding your bike, playing with other kids outside.
Wash your hands. Oh, actually, when it comes to playing with other kids, it's the the kids come over and they don't even get offered water or a
Mm.
sandwich.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy.
I feel like for other au pairs out there who are listening to this have actually experienced way worse.
Yeah,
Because I've heard terrible stories,
yeah.
especially when it comes to hygiene. I don't know if it was you who told me a story about they threw a party and then she had like the girl had to clean up the whole area. Should I actually talk about other people right
Actually,
now?
I don't know the story.
You don't
That's why I'm
know?
looking at you. I'm like, who is this?
I
Spill.
remember a story you told me about a girl who was staying in a host, and the host parents hosted a party and everything.
Oh yeah.
And then she was the one who had to clean up everything.
Yeah, and like it was basically, oh, shout out to her. She's doing so well now.
Amen.
She left. She left after 3 months. That's actually how it was.
Wait
These guys
a
were
minute.
wealthy. Like she lived 5 lifetimes in this short time, and she's European in terms of she has a passport.
Yeah.
So she was with these people. They gave her own apartment, and if you know Berlin, having your own apartment as an au pair is something huge. And these people would call her at their convenience. So at 10 p.m. they could go, hi, Lena, can you come
my
do this for
God.
us? Oh, we're going on vacation, right? We're going to this place. But she would be working like a dog. And my thing is, how can you be wealthy and still want to pay someone 280 euros for this?
That's
like they're working.
crazy. That's another
The kids
cultural
would
shock.
write on the walls, right? Which is fine if that's what they want, it's their prerogative. But after the kids write on the walls, then they'll be like, hi, can you come over to the house so she can scrub the walls now?
I think I would have left a long time ago.
No, and I think her last straw was when the family, friends, and everybody was there. They're hosting like this big thing, and like it should be like, I don't know, Easter or something. It's like a holiday.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're doing everything, everybody's having fun, and they're treating her like she's a slave. Basically, like, oh, come here, come to this. She's completely divorced from who she was supposed to be as an au pair, as someone who just takes care of the kids. And the mom would abscond and leave her with the kids. And at the end, they didn't pay her, say the bike was stolen or something like that. The bike that was in their house. It was crazy. Yeah, so there's definitely a few shocking things. But I think in relation to that, it's finding out that the au pair program is actually a hidden modern slavery program. That's what it is. Yeah, for most people.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
However, let's move on to the next stage. There's the frustration phase. The differences become overwhelming. They lead to frustration, homesickness, or irritation. I think for me, I didn't experience any homesickness because I felt like I lost a sense of home the moment I left. But I was so irritated the whole time.
Yeah.
The kids were annoying me. I love kids, but those kids were annoying the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I could only connect with the smallest one who wasn't talking because like everything just becomes so annoying, and I was so overwhelmed dealing with 3 kids and all that. I mean, I didn't have a lot of work to do. Does that actually imply that I'm lazy?
No, I was strict with it. I would look at my contract and I'd be like, this is my task. Because they don't give you extra pay. Pay. They just get on your nerves for nothing. Yeah.
My second family had this thing. Oh my God, I hope they don't listen to this. They had this thing where they would tell me that I'm doing everything according to the books, but I wasn't doing extra. I always felt like, okay, if you want me to do extra, then pay me for doing extra.
That's crazy.
But then, Black people have this tendency of saying, for you to get a promotion, you have to. You're not getting any promotion in au pair.
My management.
I think that was also another cultural shock, even though we came from, Africa, all of us. But it was just the cultural difference between like their, nationality and my nationality.
Yeah.
It's actually what we see in the movies.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna dive in deep in case they listen to this.
No, you know what? With me and when it comes to frustration, I think that's what it is. I have a lot of highlights when it comes to my au pair year. A lot of things went right, a lot of things that I'm eternally grateful for. But culturally, we did not gel at all. That's because there were certain things that were odd to me that were normal to them, things that were offensive to me that were normal to them. And so we offended each other for the whole year because I was not willing to bend to somebody who wasn't willing to see me and my place, right? And I remember having an argument with my host dad, I think, where he said, "You've been here 6 months," like as if that was supposed to make me change the essence of who I was. That wasn't the point. I was simply a person, a guest to the experience. I wasn't going to become a German. And there were certain things that I found so strange that happened. So it was quite frustrating for me to see how it was. And I think you're looking at people too closely. You get to see people's relationship dynamics, right? In a way that I don't need to know that much information about people. And these people know you don't have the choice to settle into the community the way that you would like to, because these people are your entire community if you come this way. However, when I moved to Meshede and like I was in NRV and just like I had to experience this new place by myself, the things that frustrated me were fewer, and it's still my favorite place in Germany. But at least the people could humanize me. I wasn't being forced to take the experience. The au pair experience is like it's being forced down your throat, right? In general society, when you move in, you're taking things slowly as time goes on. But as an au pair, you eat what they eat, you sleep when they sleep. You know, if they have certain philosophies, if they have certain dietary restrictions, if they have these beliefs, you have to practically wear those things, and it's difficult wearing a second skin. That's why it feels like you're wearing somebody else's culture, like a costume. You don't understand it, you haven't chosen it, and it's yours. And I was frustrated because I knew Germans. I'd gone to like German society for my lessons, so I knew Germans didn't speak not a lick of my own language. The ones that were in Zimbabwe, they didn't assimilate. They didn't even hang out in the places where Black people hang out in my country. So the fact that I felt offended, like in multiple levels, because in my own country, you guys don't do this. So this isn't part of the deal. You guys come, and the only thing that you see is safari. You go to Zimbabwe and you act as if there's not one person. You only see the falls, and you see elephants and lions.
Oh my God.
As for the people, you don't see them. I'm doing my best here, and you're making commentary about how I don't speak the language like this. I'm seeing all your friends, all your this, all your that. That was the frustration for me.
Did it ever make you like? Were there moments where you felt isolated? From everything else, the world.
100%. I still think I fought hard to not be isolated as an au pair. I was out of the house every weekend. As soon as Friday landed, I was out of the house just trying to be in general society in order to have a connection to the outside world. I think that's why I'm burnt out, and I've been dealing with like exhaustion from socializing in recent months. I don't know. I feel exhausted just by the idea of meeting new people, of talking. In fact, if you ask people from my school about me, they'll tell you I don't talk. I actually did not make any friends when I went to move to school because I was exhausted. I just didn't want to say hi. And I think I just decided for myself, this is where I draw the line. It's not 3 years in a row that I can be saying hi to new people in this country. Enough. I'm tired. My tired is tired.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Let's talk about the adjustment phase, where you start to understand and adapt to the culture. When things become a little bit familiar, what everyday habits or social norms were the hardest to adjust to?
Oh.
Let's not focus on just the au pair experience.
Yeah, I'm thinking more like right now during my Ausbildung, because that's what I've done the longest.
I remember when I first came here, I think 2020, around that time when Corona was actually, at its peak, and the shops, like everything was empty. Grocery shopping, even going to the bakery was the hardest thing I would ever have to do. Because first of all, my language was really bad, and I'd have to go with my niece. And I felt bad because this child had to now speak up for me, stand in my place and be the one saying, I want that bread. And it wasn't nice to experience the racism
Yeah.
because I couldn't speak the language.
Yeah.
So they would always look at me and then look at the child and be like, ugh.
Ausländerhaus, Deutschland, Deutsche.
They'd be like, oh, you poor thing. Now you have to speak for your aunt, you know? It was so embarrassing. But then, gosh, I'm so over that phase. Thinking about it just gives me anxiety. It's stressing me out.
Yeah, triggered.
Yeah. And then the transportation. Gosh. I can't stress this enough. Not I think everything has to just do with the language in my part. The language was probably the hardest to adjust to. Even like to talking to people. There was a time when I was lost and I didn't have anyone. Like I couldn't even look at anyone to ask where I'm going or ask if I'm in the right train because things were like really new. People were not even talking to you because everyone had masks on.
Oh,
so it was like really crazy for me. It was a really crazy experience.
That's crazy. Did that make you feel like you had to learn the language extra?
Yeah, it really did. But then also learning the language was really overwhelming because there are days when I would just go to class and I didn't get anything.
No, I get that.
You just sit there. You can't even ask in English because the teacher doesn't know that much English. So you just have to sit through until you actually can understand. That was painful.
And no, I get that. I think for me, it's just professionally the fact that people are not ready to take the time to bring you in. You're just expected to know everything. Everybody's aware that you're a foreigner. They want you to assimilate, but they're not going to give you any clue.
Yeah.
You're not going to get any clues about what you're supposed to be doing, like what your behavior is supposed to be like, right? And if you copy someone else who's doing something at work, you're going to be lost. I think, like even thinking about my Ausbildung, I moved to Berlin on the 28th of August officially.
Yeah.
And my Ausbildung started on the 1st of September. On the 31st of August, I was already at work for like the opening day, right? So I had 2 days in which I could properly settle into the city before starting.
Yeah.
I remember I started my Ausbildung asking for off days because I had to go in my registration here, fix my visa there, fix that and that. You don't have like, oh, now I need to sign on to this and that doctor to continue treatment. And I got an operation in August, like on the 4th of August or something.
In
Mechede.
Yeah.
And so I'm coming to start something already having issues, like needing to go in for my checkup, to have this and that ultrasound, to have so many things that are like just I had to do. And you find out, okay, probation is serious, right?
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes you desire that people show you a little more grace.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I didn't feel like I was being given grace. And I also don't think people knew what kind of help I needed anyway. I was very incredibly distrustful because of the experiences that I had in the country. So yeah, that has been something to navigate.
Yeah.
Also, like even with the education system was also shocking to me, right?
Yeah.
Because I think in theory, when you learn, I do my like a Ausbildung zur Industriekauffrau. That's like an industrial clerk, and so I don't know if you can compare this with nursing, but when we go into class, we do have like dictation and all of that in Zimbabwe. That's how it works, right? Or the teacher teaches something, and we're supposed to be able to synthesize information and create our own ideas from it. But in Germany, I am of the idea that there's a script, and this is what they've taught you.
Yeah.
And you're trained, even with the exam questions from day one, you're answering questions in the style that they'll appear in the exam, right? But this is an apprenticeship, so which means there's like a huge practical tile or section to it.
Yeah.
And so even if I know the theory, how am I going to be able to use this in practice if I haven't been able to kind of deal with the information in a certain way? And I felt like okay, let me not lie. I don't know if this is what they do in Zimbabwe, but this is what I expect, or this is how I have always learned.
Yeah.
I've always been somebody who's very thorough. Yeah, I'm very specific about the things that I like to do. And sometimes I felt like the education system wasn't that supportive in that particular way. However, I have been able to kind of like, navigate that by understanding that Germans want a degree of directness.
Mm-mm.
So now I just ask for what I want or just say what I want and I announce it. That's the best way to do things.
Yeah.
Things that are supposed to be a given, you now have to kind of announce. Yeah.
Yeah. While talking about education system, actually, I find it interesting also how, like for example, in class, how the students interact with the teachers.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know how what this word says. Like when you open your eyes in shock, it raises like my eyebrows. Is that the right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For example, like a student can just tell the teacher, "I'm tired. Can you stop now?" And then he just takes a 5 minutes break, talks about something else, and then I don't know. There was a time when I actually posted something on my story, but I don't remember what it was exactly. Maybe you would remember because you actually commented. But I actually forgot what it was.
Right now, I'm just thinking about my classmates who, like, if the bell goes, even if the teacher's like closing off the last sentence, people would be at the door. The school that I went to, that militant convent, let me tell you something. If break time ends and the teacher is still talking, that is it. No one is going to move. You will not move a muscle. You will not even grab your water to drink. Like that would not happen. And so I do find that a little bit weird. But yeah, I think actually that's the one part where I'm like, maybe it's not so bad because if you want people to be punctual and value your time, you have to value theirs. They have a break. Go and have yours and leave people in peace.
Yeah. I also find it interesting how, like, I mean, they do take education really, really seriously. But then it's also the things that they like. Their teaching methods. You can. I just spent 2 blocks at the cinema. Like I get the idea, but that's something that would never happen in Africa. At the school that I went to, you don't get 2 blocks in cinema. No. Like if you're tired of writing in class, you don't just say, "I'm tired of writing. Give us an assignment and then we'll go home." That doesn't happen where I come from.
No, my school doesn't do that. Even if you're tired, because they're so serious about our workplace being the Vertragspartner.
Yeah.
So if they are letting us go and there's something in the Bildung something Gazette, I forgot what it's called, like that governs basically our Ausbildungs and all of that. And it says that like if you don't meet a certain amount of hours in 2 days, you are allowed to be taken back to the office, right? So I think for us, most people are like, no, thank God. Luckily for us, we don't have to go back to the office. That's such a weird thing. We always inform them, but we don't have to go. But no, we stay put. We have to stay put.
That is cool. Let's talk about language barriers. I had a really hard time struggling to communicate when I first started my nursing training. I could sit in class and I wouldn't understand anything.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even like participate in class because I was so ashamed of maybe like I would say something wrong and then they would laugh. But then that's also something that doesn't happen here.
Yeah.
They don't laugh at you when you don't know something.
Yeah.
Especially in class. And I feel like personally I've grown because I was sitting next to someone who eventually became my friend. And every time when she would know that I know the answer, because I think when it comes to anatomy, the things that we are learning, we have already learned in Form 4, Form 5. So she'd always like push me to like speak and everything, but I really had a hard time. And people would be like, "Oh, you speak really good German."
Yeah,
that
like,
time
I know
not
a liar.
feeling it. You're not feeling it. So how has it been for you?
You know, speaking of, I remember because you started your Ausbildung before mine, and I remember like your notebook or something was in the kitchen, and I was so shocked it was in German because I couldn't have imagined that I would write even one sentence.
Yeah, I was probably German. Using Google Translate.
I was like, what is it? No, it was like, oh, your notes were in German. I was like, how's she reading this? Because I'd be in class and I would be blazed, like not a clue in the world what is being talked about. And I remember in the beginning, which is why I'm so sad that I got my tablet so late. When I now already understand the language, but like
Yeah.
I would have my phone and they would say something and then I would be translating, into
Yeah. Oh my God,
whatever.
translating
Yeah,
had to be the
yeah,
worst thing
because like
ever.
there's certain words that are being said, everybody's reading, they're moving on, like they've read the um like the background story because we work out with like models, right? Like this is happening in this company and this, how are they solving? And by the time you figure out what the conversation is about,
Yeah,
they've
they're
already
already on
moved
the
on.
next topic.
And I used to be like one of those people, if I'm not sure, sometimes I just don't want to talk. Or if I'm not paying
Yeah.
attention. So many times the teacher will be like, and so what's your opinion, Shamian? And I'll be like, I haven't a clue in the world. What
Yeah.
you so yeah, I'll just look at
Yeah.
him like, this is crazy. Now there's certain places or certain classes where I participate more. So I've definitely improved. But there's some that I think I'm just not interested in doing. And one of those is like I do like an accounting course, and numbers, no matter what language, are never going to be my forte.
Yeah.
I am not going to. First of all, the numbers are the wrong way round.
Yeah.
It's 59. You say
Yeah,
9 and 50.
you say 9 and 50. Oh my God, that
I'm
was
not
also
going to
another
know
thing.
how to answer that question. I need 5 business days to figure this out.
Yeah.
However, there's definitely an improvement because, of course, in my class in Harvard, you can tell that I do
Yeah.
understand. But off the dome, with no calculator or whatever, people are just yeah, and this number is, I haven't a clue in the world what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was in English, I would have got on better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's been my experience.
Another thing when it comes to the language is obviously the work culture and also the bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of paperwork in Germany. A whole lot.
Unbelievable.
You need a whole lot just to get one simple thing.
And you're afraid to even throw away a receipt because you don't know when they want that paper. Like you feel like, let me keep my receipt from DM. Who knows with this country?
That's hilarious. Oh my God. Anyway, let's move to another topic. Still on the language. I feel like the language plays a really, really huge role. Have you made friends where you only speak to them in German? Friends who don't know, friends who are not from your like your background, the same background as yours. Friends who are strictly German, 100%.
I do have a German friend.
For one,
she speaks to me in English.
Oh yeah, another thing is Germans who say no English, but then who are really good at English.
My friend is an English teacher, guys.
That's crazy.
But I remember when I met her, we met in a bar. We met on Bumble BFF, right?
Yeah.
And so we're in the bar, like we've talked, we just saying hi. We realized we actually don't like this bar. But she wants to ask something. So she turns to the guys and she starts speaking to them in German. This is the best German I've ever heard. And I look her dead in the eye and I was like, how did you learn to speak such great German? And she said, girl, I'm German.
Oh my God.
So yeah, she used to be like my everything, like in terms of navigating German bureaucracy. She made my CV for me. She helped me with my motivation letter. It's outdated. She needs to pick up the pen and do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in terms of just strictly German, when I lived in Mexico, I didn't make any friends who spoke just German, but like my colleagues and of course at work, I know a lot of people speaking German. In my free time, all the Germans I know speak to me in English.
Yeah. As for me, I have friends that I met in school, those ones that used to motivate me a lot. They speak German, like strictly German. They're German. So I feel like that has helped me a lot. And also working with patients, obviously they are German patients, so they speak German. So
okay, but here's my thing.
Yeah.
With patients, is your vocabulary not limited? Because I feel like you're just saying 9. Yeah, Aunt's here.
Okay. Yeah. No. No. I feel like there's the Welsh language. That reminds me of some of my colleagues from Vietnam because That's exactly their language. But like I feel like there's a language, there's a work language.
Yeah.
You are right. Actually, it does kind of limit because when it comes to what you do at work, how you deal like medication, everything,
Yeah.
patient care, it's just one language.
Yeah.
You know. But obviously, when I talk to friends and stuff, then
Okay.
it gets a little bit broader. So I get what you mean. Yeah, I actually forgot what I wanted to ask. Okay, I had one question in mind though, which takes us back to when we were staying in the villages. So you were staying in Meshad and I was staying in Essen. How was it for you moving to a big city?
So no, I started in a big city, remember? And then I only made it 6 months out.
Yeah.
I initially really loved just being in a smaller place because I had experienced a lot. I was incredibly traumatized.
Yeah.
And I thought like I was going to lose every friend that I had ever made until that point because I was in the trenches of trauma to the point where I couldn't be a good friend.
Yeah.
So it was a welcome change, right? And being in the small place meant if I wanted to experience something, I had to move out. I had to go somewhere else. So that encouraged me to visit like smaller cities, like Zost.
Oh, you loved doing that.
Like I do love me a village. I love me a cute day trip, and I think that's something that I want to revisit this year. And I think I liked that now I could walk into a cafe and feel like a regular. Like, oh, these people know me. Like they're familiar with me. They know I live here.
Yeah.
In Berlin, okay, maybe like your corner store, but sometimes the city is just too big. I do think where we live is kind of cute, so like the people can be really nice.
Yeah.
But elsewhere, where I live with my host, there was only one person who spoke to me. The other ones used to ask if I was my white host kid's mother. Yeah. Oh, is that smoothie?
Oh my god.
Wait,
in Michigan or here in Berlin?
Here in Berlin. So with Meshade, it was like, okay, I'm just myself. I'm starting afresh. Like I'm gathering my thoughts. I think that's the place that allowed me to resolve a few issues, really focus on certain things. So it was like for me, having only experienced that for 6 months, it was a welcome break.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did love it.
I feel like for me, I've always been a city girl. Like I love me a busy city. Because for me, when I'm in the villages, it felt lonely. I don't know, maybe it's because I had a bad start already. So, but I did make friends, long-term friends actually. And I still go back there, just not the same city, but like closer.
Yeah.
But it's so lonely. I feel like I only go there when I need extreme quietness and stillness and peace.
Yeah.
You know? And for me, it can get a bit too depressing because then I get so much in my feelings and I'm like, fuck, I have to deal with this. I have to sleep. But then I'm sleeping the whole time because I don't want to feel anything. I don't want to think about anything. So I like a busy city. I actually like moving was the hardest thing because I was moving from a family to a family.
Yeah.
Before I started my au pair, I was going through a whole lot. I couldn't stay with my sister anymore because she was also moving out. So I had no choice. It was just change, and I had no time to adjust for me. It was like coming from something small going to something big, but also something big in general. So it was really a bit uncomfortable for me. Yeah. But anyway, now let's talk about my favorite but difficult topic: making friends and socializing.
Hate it. Absolutely detest
this girl sent me an email asking me what was on that email. I forgot. Gosh, I forget a lot of things.
Yeah, actually, I wonder if I still. So yeah, we were like in the end. I think we used the same au pair agency.
Yeah.
And so he used to like the agent used to give us like a list of all the girls like who are au pairs that month, and I just used to look at that list and pick out everybody who was an African and send them a message. Because here's the thing.
I'm wondering if you saw my name evidence. You're like, this one.
No, the country is there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's your name and the country.
God.
Yeah, so I would be like, okay, this is from Africa, I'm going. And it was like I was so strict about it, and I don't regret this one bit. I don't regret looking for people who come from where I come from, who look like me, who understand my experience.
Yeah.
Because one thing that's like when you talk about cultural shocks and everything, you need certain people who understand you and your context, who can speak to you and be like, okay, that's actually crazy. And you can laugh about it and maintain your sanity. Instead of having people who you need to explain things to, like, oh my god, this is weird in my culture.
Yeah.
You need people who know exactly what you mean. Like, guys, they've done it again. Look at them. They've asked us to PayPal them €2 for the meal. This guy, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think socializing has become increasingly difficult for me. I don't want to do it. I don't have the strength to do it. And I think I'm now at a point where I'm starting to feel a little bit guilty.
Yeah.
I'm happy some of my friends are out of the country. Matter of fact, I'm glad when they're traveling because I am so exhausted. And I think like I only have strength to do things for myself. And I think my brain doesn't want that anymore. Like
Yeah.
I've spent so much time trying to build community. And I think I probably tried, like, I met hundreds of people. I spoke to hundreds of people. And I think only 4 people, if not 3, this time stayed. Like the rest found this to be an absolute waste of their time, you know. And I think I'm done with that phase of my life. I need things to be a little bit more organic. Yeah. But it's been okay. In Berlin, it's okay. It's not as bad as elsewhere.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, speak your mind. Speak your
I don't know about that. Oh my god. I don't know. I feel like, gosh, when it comes to making friends, for me, it's literally the most difficult thing. Because now it's actually way better. Because back then, when you met me, I was so timid. And I think that was when I actually started the podcast thingy. And I was doing it because I was lonely. Because I didn't have
I know
friends.
you were in the trenches, I remember.
Yeah. Like it was so hard for me to socialize. The only friends that I had were the friends that I had in school, the ones that I was hanging out with. I didn't have any other friends out of that. So when you wrote me that email, I was like, finally, finally. But I didn't have friends. I did know a few people. Actually, no, I did have friends, but they were outside. The ones that I met when I was staying in Essen. So in Berlin, it was really hard.
Yeah.
And I remember going out the first time with you to the club. That was also
guys, we're wearing sneaker and jean. They don't know this anymore. They don't
still have that picture.
We look like we're going for youth.
I think it was a black and white Afro night at the weekend.
No, but I think we're all dressed crazy. I think no. The thing is, I think we were still a little bit afraid of the winter.
Yeah.
And so we are definitely dressed. I used to do that in the beginning, where if I went out, I wouldn't dress knowing that I would be inside and burning.
Yeah.
And then now you're in the club. One time I wore these thick socks. I don't know if you guys know these house socks, the grippy ones, the thick line socks.
I know them.
I wore those inside my boots. I almost fainted in the club, guys, because your friends taxi train is packed and your feet are hot. Hot.
And you're standing the whole time, probably, and dancing and stuff. Anyway, what was the most surprising? Like, what's most surprising about German social life when it comes to friendship, work culture, and nightlife?
I think for me, as a person who didn't have experience making adult friendships, who only has like my first group of friends, I'm friends with the people that I've been friends with forever. It's just understanding how starting a friendship from scratch looks like. You don't remember anymore if you've had friends like for 14, 15 years. It feels like, oh, it's always been like this. But yes, friendships start from somewhere and you're gaining someone's trust. You know, you're starting to understand them. You don't know if you should be offended here or not. And certain things you only learn with time, right? Once you get to know, oh, they don't mean that, or they mean that, or they, you know, that gauge, that feel for someone you get with time. And I find it exhausting because you're also not sure. I think new friendships don't make you sure. And also like with everything that happens, sometimes I do feel like new friendships are very tit for tat. Sometimes like, oh, how many times have you invited me? How many times should I invite you? Okay, you bought me something for €1, so maybe I should get you something for €1. Like you're watching the person, you're observing them more closely. And then of course, like culturally, yeah, I'm not going to lie. I don't even have to lie for 1 second. Most of my friends and I share the same cultural background. We all come from Southern Africa, to be precise.
Yeah.
I do know people from like, oh, I do love me some East Africans. The girls are fun. Yeah, I think that's it. Not that I'm not open, but like, yo, guys, it's enough.
Yeah.
I can't. At work, they're like fighting me with this language, and like, I don't understand what they're talking about. I need my own people. I'm happy to have my own people. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like for me, what was most surprising with, I'll say, for example, the work culture. And when it comes to like friends at work, you don't have those things. Personally, I don't make friends at work. Like I let work be work. Or maybe I would say, yes, I have a friend at work, but then it's only a work friend.
Yeah.
And then that's it. When it comes to personally, we don't have anything personally. Another thing that's shocking is when it's snowing or raining outside and your colleague says you have 30 minutes to walk and they don't offer you a lift.
No, that's actually crazy, hey?
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm going. I don't know how to feel about that.
That is insane.
No, but my workplace, shout out to them. Shout out to my very traditional old school workplace. You know what? If I can encourage someone to do something, leave the workplace where the boss is trying to be cool, where the boss comes on a skateboard or what have you.
Oh.
You need just the old school people because they have certain values that are useful. Like in my workplace, they will do that. They'll be like, oh, like this one side, you blah blah, you're going in the same direction, take her.
Yeah.
Don't. Not this thing where like, I feel like in Michigan that could have happened. Like, you know, let me not lie on them. Like, but even in Michigan, people used to take me with their cars. Like, if I worked nights, they'll take me with the car. Like, they'll take me back to the
I don't know. Maybe it's just me as a person, but no one offers me a lift. No one offers me a lift. Well, there's been we have like a new house master, and he's black, so that's it. And he drives a car, so obviously I get lift on rainy days and snowy days.
But do you feel like you've had to change parts of your personality to settle into this country?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you know what it is?
I've had to pretend to be someone I'm not, especially when it comes to like, I don't know, I don't know how to explain this properly, but I feel like there are times when I had to pretend like I was strong or act like I'm this gigantic person with a big personality who's always laughing and happy. When like deep down I was literally just dying to keep my mouth shut and keep my facial expression, you know. And there were times when a colleague of mine would be like, for example, would be like, you need to smile more.
Yeah.
I hate that line with every fiber in my being. Smile more.
For what? Do something funny. Right? Are you crazy?
I don't know, but I would also say it kind of helped me grow because I saw the importance of, you know, changing, finding change, and all those things. But anyway, I've had a really crazy nightlife in Berlin. The city never dies. Berlin is a 24/7. It's always up.
Yep.
There's always someone in the train. There's always something going on. But anyway, we're slowly coming to the end of this episode. Just want to talk about a few things. I'm going to ask you a few questions, yeah?
Okay.
So what was the hardest part about fitting in socially? Make it quick.
Oh my God. Even trying. I think I just quit. I stopped.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, outside of this house, I don't even open my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm quiet.
I think the hardest part is finding that specific group where you just fit in.
Exactly. That's why I keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Yeah, gosh, there's a lot of groups I want to be a part of, but I'm not even gonna waste my breath. Let's talk about emotional and psychological impact.
No, devastating. 100%.
How do you deal with the challenges you faced in Germany? Do you have any support system? Gosh, we are all going for therapy in this house.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yo.
This house is cursed.
When they burn this apartment down,
Actually,
I'll be there to witness it. I'll never forget it.
Oh
Ask
my
me
God.
2095 and I will know.
Yeah, you definitely read about it. Do you feel like Germany has changed you?
I do think so.
Yeah. How would you say?
I think it has exposed some of the things that I was ignorant to. Let me say it that way. But it has also shown me that actually I am doing great. I'm doing fantastic. And I know how to do things that work for me. And that I am right, everybody else is wrong.
That is true. That I can contest to that. You're right. Exactly. Another question is, at what point did you start feeling comfortable?
Oh, it was supposed to be January.
Hilarious. Hilarious. Gosh, I thought we were all going for it. Things took a hectic wrong turn.
Yeah, guys. I'm just thinking about that. You know the South African news thing when they're going Tura left.
Yeah. We were doomed from the beginning. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, there's actually a lot to talk about in this topic. There's a lot.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't believe.
What is your favorite? We didn't talk about the food. Like
guys, I've gone through a lot of favorite. So it used to be currywurst, and then I moved to Meshede, and there's only one spot, and it's in Meshede that makes the best currywurst. Everybody else should retire. When I become chancellor, I'm closing off.
I thought you said potatoes or something.
No, like German food. Yeah. Okay, they're not. That's not proper German food. My favorite German food is rotkohl, because that's fermented. Yeah, I do love me that.
You always eat
Sauerbraten. But no, I eat this from we have a German canteen and work.
Oh my God, there is this thing where you like they have like a cooking thing, and you put like a tray, and then you have cheese, something, I don't know.
Yeah,
that is probably the most German thing I like.
No, I had that with the lactose intolerance. My stomach fought me the whole night.
I love
the whole
some
night,
cheese,
yeah.
So that's why. Anyway, 3 more questions.
Okay.
Going down. Okay. What was your first real what the fuck moment when you moved to Germany?
Oh, when I realized they didn't have clinics. It's the healthcare system.
Wait, what?
Like I don't know if this is the same in Botswana, but like when you're sick, you don't have to see a doctor because the nurses are so qualified. The nurses are like, I don't know, like a junior doctor, and they have like, our nurses serve the community, so they are responsible for community education and all of these things. Whereas here, you have only your doctor. The 10 doctors in Berlin have to see you. And if it's not that, so sometimes if you just want like general healthcare, health information, I know they do have like health centers here in Germany, but the idea of like everybody knows a clinic where you can go, where you can just wait at the door and get things, and like they service each and every community has them. Like I don't have to take 3 trains to go somewhere.
Yeah.
That was like, this is crazy. Like also like you have to have health insurance. The fact that you have there's no tax funded. I am not in the system. Let me get health insurance. Like you have to have health insurance. Yeah. Even if you're unemployed, it's being paid through that. That was crazy to me because I come from the land of healthcare is for everybody. It's free,
yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like for me, it was probably in class when a student was saying something to the teacher, and I was like, "This is the most disrespect." This is the most
You're
disrespectful
like,
thing I've
shut your
ever heard.
mouth.
I was like, how can you say that to Sir? You just say that where I come from. That was probably the day where I posted it also. Yeah. Anyway, would you go through all of it again?
No, I
No.
wouldn't. Oh, I actually the YouTube video that I will edit whenever I have time talks
Yeah.
about this. I would change certain. I would come to Germany, but there's certain things that I would have done differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, I feel like now I've actually experienced a lot, especially if I count this year.
Yeah, this year we've aged.
I feel like
30
we
years
went
now.
through a whole lot of things. I wouldn't necessarily change anything because it has shaped me into who I am, what I am right now.
Yeah, I do think,
But,
but
maybe
you could
here
have
and
changed
there.
certain things.
Yes.
Like maybe you shouldn't have looked for a second family. You should have just said a hospital.
Yeah, but the thing
that's kind of what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Actually, yeah, but the thing was accommodation at that moment because my sister was moving out and I didn't have any other place to go.
Yeah, I think the first day you landed in those vile people's house, you should have just like leave.
Right. And I actually had a B1 certificate, so that's actually fucked up. Anyway, yeah, I think the last question would be if you had to blend both your home culture and the German culture into one, what would that look like?
I'm keeping everything from my house. One thing about me is I love my country and I always have.
Yeah.
I don't see myself changing this particular. I love my country, not politically, but genuinely the people, our culture, the way our relationship to the land, our history. I love all of that. So I would keep everything there. I would take the roads from Germany.
The health system too.
Yeah. No, the medical equipment from Germany and their roads. Just because Zimbabwe is like so bad. If we just get the roads and the medical equipment, because the doctors are far ahead. Like even my GP in Zim, maybe it's anti-blackness, maybe it's a result of medical racism in Germany, but the things that my GP could do for me in Zim, the way they would talk to me, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
What would that look like for you?
I don't know. Like I said, medical. I feel like my country is perfect. Botswana is the most peaceful country in Africa. But we do need.
You don't have clubs?
We don't have clubs. You said clubs?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Botswana?
I'm asking.
We do have clubs, but I've never been because my brother would kill me.
No, this one you have to go with. What's this? Good. Rap dance.
I feel like the nightlife in Botswana is not something I would participate in.
No, I have to. When I go home, I have to start on Monday. Those see me on Sunday.
Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. If I just need to leave a disclaimer, should this turn out to be something cancelable, I do not lay claim to any of the opinions that were shared in this episode.
Me neither.
All of these things were not said with my consent. But if you like the statements, they were my personal ideas. I thought
feel free to comment, share,
and PayPal.
And PayPal. Yeah, I'll actually put your PayPal. Maybe I'll get luck from having your name. We are sharing 50-50, Shamir.
Guys, one thing about me is I am the actual city girl. I've never had to go halfies on anything in my life. I swear. Half on what? Next thing you don't know what's happening. Now I must carry it on my back. I'm not giving a half. That's crazy. You guys send me one with my name.
I'll put 2 accounts there. So you choose which one gets the money. Yeah. Anyway, don't forget to rate the podcast and follow the podcast page on Instagram and on YouTube. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, you know what to do.
Bye.
Bye.